Hey everybody, Alleah here. You know what we do? We dive deep into the concepts of law of attraction taught by Hicks, and we're going to start right now by taking a look at this quote. If you're not thinking about a negative thought, your vibration is going to raise to its natural positive place. So we've all been studying law of attraction for a while, maybe you're new, but the general gist here is that the world has an undercurrent of goodness, wellness, love. It is our natural state of being. Who we are is loving beings. We feel good when we love. We don't feel good when we don't love. And so really when we then go out into the world and we live and we see things we don't like, we then see negativity because the world has everything out there. And so sometimes our lives can get wrapped up around negativity, but this is a reminder that if we remove the negative thoughts, we don't even really have to try very hard, but we will start to raise. We will come into positivity, we'll go through neutrality, and that is our natural state of being. But another way to look at this can be tricky, right? Because we can't really stop doing anything. In the pursuit of stopping, we are aware of the thing that we want to stop. And our awareness activates it, and we can't manifest anything beyond what's activated. So when we're trying to stop doing things, there's only really one way to do it. We have to deprive the fire of oxygen by shifting our attention. So I'm going to give you a couple ways right now to remove the negative thoughts by doing something else intentionally. So the first one is we can intentionally think a good thought. We can intentionally think a loving thought. This can be in the form of just sitting back and saying, I have a cozy home. I love my family. I love my friends. I really enjoy these people I work with. I love that I have infinite options of things that I can do. I like the weather. I like the birds chirping. It can just be anything. We can intentionally think a positive thought. And while we're thinking that positive thought, we actually cannot at the exact same time have activated a negative thought that is in lack. So that's the first one. But let's say you don't even feel very positive. Let's say that feels like too much work. We actually can intentionally think a neutral thought. Because here's what the reminder is. The reminder is saying, in the absence of negativity, we will become positive. Our cork will raise. And so we can also intentionally think a random neutral thought, like there's a tree, there's a tree, there's a tree, there's a bench, there's a bench. There is somebody. I like her purple shoes. That's a little bit, positive. But the idea is that you can actually just pick something random and focus on it. And if you're saying in your mind, there's a couch, there's a couch, there's a coffee, there's a coffee, there's a car, there's a car, then that's like this distraction that is doing the same thing. In that state of neutrality, you cannot have negativity activated. So you can think neutral thoughts. This can take the pressure off if you feel pressure to be positive, pressure to feel joy, pressure to get it right. You don't even have to do that. And if you actually practice reaching for neutrality for a while, pretty soon you're going to actually feel even better reaching for something positive when maybe that's hard today. The third way you can do it is, some of you like this, some of you don't. Learn to meditate. And this is the practice of the pursuit of learning to calm the brain down. And for me, I like doing intentional thinking a little bit more, but I definitely do meditate sometimes, like before I go to bed. But I've taught this, and some people are like, oh, I like to meditate, that's my way, or not. So there's not a good or a bad here. I'm just giving you some options. Because as we learn to meditate, as we learn to calm the body down, as we learn to become aware of the thoughts that our brain is thinking, our awareness kind of dissipates them. And that's the process. Because if you've never meditated, you might think, I can't meditate because if I try, I'm thinking a lot. We all are, okay? That's the thing here, is we're all thinking a lot until we practice. And we practice by just giving ourselves that time to sit and be aware of what our brain is doing, and then practice holding on to those little calm blips of silence between the thoughts and growing it from a half a second to a couple seconds, and building the practice from there. So if you have chronic negative thoughts, you don't have to fix them head on. You can absolutely just do one of these three simple things. Think something positive, think something neutral, or learn to quiet the mind generally. All right, let's dive into the second quote. But before I do, I want to say, hey, could you do me a huge favor and like the video and maybe subscribe if you're into this kind of thing generally? It tells YouTube we're doing good stuff and really helps me out. So that would be awesome. Okay, second quote for today. No matter where I am going and no matter what I am doing, it is my dominant intent to see that which I am wanting to see. Note, this quote does not mention anything about reality. This quote does not mention anything about what is. This is saying, hey, if you want to live by law of attraction, let's go into our lives and look for things we want to see. And that might be different for some of us because sometimes we've spent years, our entire life, going through life looking at what is in front of us, looking at what already is. And as we look at what already is, then we offer an emotional response to that. And then that emotional response is the energy that is manifesting more and more and more things just like that. And some people are in a groove. They do this naturally. They don't even need to study law of attraction to kind of go through their life in a light way, looking at things that they want to see. But if you think that there's a lot of negative things in your life, if you chronically see things that you don't like, whether it's the news, whether it's behaviors of friends or family, whether it's just your boss's continued response to you, if there's just something that is kind of chronically with you that you don't like, then this is a momentum and a manifestation of more and more things. You saw it before, you offered emotional response, and now you're attracting more and more things. The reality is those things are true for you right now because they're happening, but there's also this whole other world. Like as you're driving, thinking your thoughts in your head about your boss saying whatever to you, whoever did what, there's another version of reality. There's another version of reality, which is, I'm driving right now. I see cars. I like the trees on this road. I like how people are walking down this road. I like how there's nobody on this road. That reality is existing at the same time of the reality of your brain thinking about what actually is. The difference is if you can dominantly look for what you want to see, even if it's silly, like I like to see all the cars. I like to see nature. I like that it's springtime. I like that whatever. And you're just making things up. You're just deciding, oh, I'm going to like this because I can see it. Now you're offering a different emotional response, and that is going to help you start manifesting new things. And so going into your life and into your day, dominantly looking for things that you want to see is this process of kind of shifting out of looking at what is, manifesting more of what is, and saying, let me feel better more of the time, because that's the whole essence is when we feel better, we manifest better feeling things. And so we're constantly on the edge of thinking about how can I feel better? You could feel good right now, but what if you want to feel better than good? Then we still want to reach. If you're feeling angry, maybe you want to get to frustrated. If you're feeling frustrated, maybe you want to get to annoyed. If you're feeling too annoyed, maybe you want to get to neutrality. The whole process isn't about all of a sudden making yourself joyful if you are in some sort of tricky situation. This is about the pursuit of always looking to feel a little bit better. And we do that by saying, it feels right that I would go through life looking for things that I want to see so that I can manifest seeing more things that I like. All right, let's dive into the third quote. And just as a reminder, I haven't told you this yet, so it's not really a reminder, but in the about section of this video, I'm going to link to another video that's highly relevant to this subject. So if you're kind of in the groove and want to keep going, go down there and you'll find a link to the perfect next video for you. All right, so third quote. You cannot receive vibrationally something that you are not a vibrational match to. So bless those who are finding abundance, and in your blessing of them and their abundance, you will become abundant too. But in your cursing of their abundance, you hold yourself apart from it. It's a law. It's a powerful law. The piece I want to zero in on here is you cannot receive something that you are not a vibrational match to. So let's go into this. If you want a lot of money, right now as you sit, you are a match to the lack of money because right in this second, you don't have the cash. So your energy is reflecting not having cash. And so you cannot get cash, you cannot get wealthy while holding on to the vibration of not wealthy. Meaning, in order to get cash, in order to get wealth, you have to start practicing the vibration and the energy and the emotion of money, of wealthy. So you might say, well, I have no idea what it feels like to have cash. I have no idea what it feels to be really, really wealthy. And this is when a little bit of imagination comes into play, and it's not more complicated than this. This is when we start thinking, well, how would I feel? Maybe right now you're, kind of slumped over and you're just like, all right, this is my day. But if I was like, how would you be sitting if you had $1 million? You'd be like, well, man, I'd be smiling. I'd be sitting up proud. I would just be sitting there like, I own the place. I would be really proud. And so this is the shift, right? Right now, the energy is, I don't have this. But if you did have it, the energy would be like baller status, right? The energy would be like, hey, this is incredible. This stuff works. I love having the abundance. I love expanding. I love having money. I love being wealthy. I like to buy this. I like to buy that. I like to give this away. I like to travel and stay at fancy places. And so you can really start thinking, what would that feel like? You can also imagine people who have it, and you can be like, what do they feel like? You might say, well, I have no idea. Challenge yourself. Imagine this. What do they feel like? If you were somebody who goes through your days, your months, and your years not looking at a budget, knowing there's plenty, always having tons of cash coming in, how would that feel? And you might be like, wow, well, I would breathe deep and I'd be smiling and I'd be happy and I just would feel abundant. That is the process of imagining that and doing that, I don't know, once a day, couple times a week, couple times a day, whatever you can handle, whatever feels doable to you right now, you start doing that. And as you use your imagination or as you remember a time that you felt wealthy, then you in the now are feeling that. And the universe doesn't know the difference. It's just the universe is a mechanism that is matching itself with a vibration. So if we're able to feel wealthy in this little moment, then we are actually able to start shifting into that, and we will be on our path to manifesting more and more wealth. All right. So those are our 3 quotes for the day. Bring those into your life this week. Play around with what you like. Go deeper. Again, if you like going this deep with Abraham Hicks Law of Attraction concepts, then absolutely write me a comment below. I'll respond to you. Subscribe, like the page, and then go check out the next video, and I will see you later.